Hello guys, and welcome to this video where I will show you Hotlap around Miami, then the setup I use, and finally the race strategy. So this track is really a tricky one in my opinion, with lots of high speed corners and some very difficult low speed corners as well. But let's jump right into the Hotlap. So get the DRS on right here, and then coming into turn 1 you want to brake at the 100-meter board, going down to 2nd gear and then short shift up to 3rd and 4th. Get close to the curb in turn 2 and then try and go over this curb into turn 3. I made a huge mistake, so I will show you a better one after this lap. In turn 4 you want to brake just before the black box and then go down to 6th gear and get really close to the wall, so you also take the curb. Then as you're in the middle between turn 4 and 5, brake and shift down to 5th gear, then shift to 6th to stabilize the car and just ride down the curb with your wheels. And now one of the more difficult parts of the track is turn 7. So you don't want to have full throttle around here, and then when the USA flag is lined up, you want to brake going down to 3rd, and then you really have to turn as much as you can on your steering wheel. Otherwise full throttle for the straight, remember the DRS which is right underneath this bridge. Then stay as close to the walls as possible, and then for turn 11 brake at around 115 meters before. Going down to 2nd and then into turn 12 where you want to let the car roll, and then when the blue part is almost ending, use a bit of throttle. Go as close to the wall in turn 13 and then brake around here, all the way down to 2nd gear and really cut the corners in both turns. If you hit them right you won't spin, but if you're going wrong you will get a bouncy or spinny car. So for turn 16 try and get as close to the apex and then really try to push the throttle, because the earlier you're on the throttle the more speed you have for the straight. Then remember DRS and then just straight out it goes into turn 17 where you want to brake just before the 100-meter board. Going down to 2nd and then be careful on the throttle as it is easy to spin here. Otherwise it's simple to get over the line, and we do it in a 1:27.3, and we can easily gain some more time into turn 3, so let me just show you how a good turn 3 is before the setup. So go over the curb and just try and get full throttle when going off the curb and stay as much to the right as possible, and then you just gained a lot of time. And then let's go straight into the setup. So for the aerodynamics we do 17 in front and then 15 in rears, then 50-50, and then all the way to the right for the cambers and all the way to the left for the toe. For the suspension we do 5-1, 7-1 for anti-roll and then 11-6 on the ride height. For the brakes we do 150, and then for the tires we do max in all of them. So let's jump right into the race strategy. You want to do medium soft again. You can actually do this on this track as well. If you don't have the right tire management, maybe go medium hards and then pit around lap 15 or something like that. And then for the fuel you want to put in 29.4 laps. For the setup we don't change anything otherwise than the tires, where we just put one click to the left on them all. And then finally let's get into the race. So let's skip ahead for the formation lap until the end of it, where I actually nailed it to perfection. We got a 0.0 purple. That's amazing guys. So hit the like and subscribe button before we go into the race. So the 5 lights are on and off we go to an amazing start. We were able to get past a lot of people, going up to P3 into turn 1. Just taking the inside of Perez here, where we just get past him into turn 3 here. But let's skip ahead to the end of lap 3, where we have around 10% tire wear, so it's about 2 or 3% each lap. But let's go into the end of lap 10, where we do a 132.4, and that's where you want to be around on the medium tires. And now I want to show you which corners you want to be careful about when you have a lot of fuel in the car. So for turn 1 you want to do the same, also in turn 3 here, but then coming down for turn 4 you want to be more careful. Don't go over the curb as you did in the Hotlap, but just stay with the left side of your tires, and also the same in turn 5 and turn 6. But for turn 7 you want to brake before the Hotlap, still going down to 3rd, and then just full throttle. Remember the DRS if you're behind someone, otherwise just full throttle. Then coming down to turn 11 you want to do exactly the same as in the Hotlap, brake before the 100-meter board, and then coming down to turn 12 also the same because it's in the low speed corners. And then turn 13, get as close to the walls, and then here go down to first, maybe second, and then into turn 16 where you want to get as close to the apex, and then just full throttle ahead. Then coming down to turn 17, you want to brake before the hot lap, so around 120 meters maybe. And then, as you can see, I didn't do that, so I go wide, but it's also okay. And then just full throttle around here, and then that was the lap. So we got a 131.1. But going into the end of lap 19, we have around 57% tire wear, so go into the pits. And it can be a bit tricky to get this right, but you want to brake just before the second world logo on the right side. Then you should hit it perfect with the 80 kilometers. Going into the pits, try and hit the pebble right here. And then just when you come out of the pits, remember you have very cold tires. So just remember to take it easy around the first few corners until your tires are up to temperature. But at the end of the lap we have around 5% tire wear, so each lap gets around 5-6%. So just have that in mind. But when going around a lap on the soft, you want to do just as you do in the hot lap, but in turn 4, 5 and 6, just be careful on the curbs as you were on the mediums. Don't go over it completely, as the car is not built to do that in the race apparently. But let's just skip ahead to turn 17, where you want to brake just before the 100 meter board, and then you hit it perfectly. So on the soft you just want to do the same as you do in the hot lap, and the times you want to put in on the soft are around 131.3s. But we managed to get the fastest lap, which was a 129.0, so it was a really great lap. But at the end of lap 29 we have around 54% tire wear, so that's great. And the fuel was around 0.1, so we managed to get that perfectly here. So that was it from me. Hope you enjoyed it guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.